Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown spoilers and WWE main event spoilers. Happy birthday goes to NXT General Manager William Regal, turned 48 years old today, while the legend Tito Santana turned 63 and WCW Air Paris turned 39. Former WWE superstar Alex the Pug Porto recently opened up a new wrestling training school and promotion in Winter Park, Florida, near Full Sail University, where NXT tapes. The new venture is called Pro Wrestling 2.0, and Porto is the head trainer. Others working with Alex at the center include Texas Wrestling Academy's Rudy Boy Gonzalez, Texas Wrestling Hall of Fame referee James Beard, and former TNA knockout Santana Garrett, aka Brittany, Puerto Rico legend Julio Estrada, and others. Email Pro Wrestling 2.0 or 2.0 at gmail.com if you want to try out or whatever. Or call this number here. I'll list it for you for more info. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T mentioned on last night's Raw pre-show how U.S. champion Calypso has driven Ryback crazy all over the internet. Referring to his recent blog post, Big E also took a shot at Ryback's Twitter antics today with his tweet referring to the unrelated hashtag Big Guy Twitter hashtag that's trending today. Cameron took to tweet longer today and addressed her WWE departure from last week, thanking fans and the company. And here's her full post. Thank you. Thank you all to all the employees behind the scenes who work hard to provide us with everything we need. Thank you all to all the trainers and coaches at the Performance Center and at NXT who worked with an inexperienced girl like me and taught me so much. Thank you to Mr. McMahon and his family for giving me the opportunity to live out a dream and experience some of the most incredible things. Thank you to all the superstars and divas that have become my family. I have made some lifelong friends and have met some incredible performers who are truly amazing people. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to each and every member of the WWE Universe that has shown me love and supported me during my tenure with the WWE. To all the fans that used to tweet me, email me, send me mail, and wait in line to see me, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without the WWE Universe, we are nothing, and for that I am truly appreciative. And of course, there is also the internet wrestling community, my beloved IWC. I thank you all as well. I may not always agree with you or your methods of expression, but I do respect your opinion, and I do thank you for pointing out all the things I needed to improve upon. The passion you display and the criticism I received from you almost daily is what fueled me to push harder to learn this business and on my craft so that one day I could come back and even make you all proud. I wanted to take this one last opportunity to not only thank everyone, but to share some of my feelings and thoughts I have as I ride off into the sunset. From being casted on Tough Enough, to being signed to FCW, to getting called up to the main roster, and then deciding to go back to NXT. These past few years have been one hell of a roller coaster ride for me, but despite the outcome, I consider myself beyond blessed. Of course, all good things must come to an end, and not every story has a fairy tale ending. Friday was a bittersweet day for me as I received my release. As I think back on all the memories, I am filled with a cluster of various emotions, sadness, frustration, happiness, and everything in between. I wanted to make an impact in the WWE, not only as a confident and a successful African-American female, but as a role model for young females and underdogs around the world. I wanted to show them that this is possible to prevail against the odds, and when people think you are underserving, not good enough, or simply don't fit in the mold. We all know that I had no wrestling experience prior to WWE, nor had I grown up on a diehard wrestling fan. Clearly, that was evident when I was eliminated from Tough Enough, but since that day, I worked extremely hard to learn not only the business and its history, but to how to compete in the ring. I spent my very little time in FCW, before I was called up to the main roster. Although that was an amazing opportunity, in hindsight, it may have caused me to miss out on some valuable training time that may have eventually led to where we are today. After sitting on the sidelines as a spectator for some time, I had asked to be taken off the road until the writing team could come up with something for me to do. In the meantime, I took it upon myself to hire Carlo Cannon, a phenomenal wrestling talent and good friend, to teach me new moves and work on my in-ring skills and techniques. I was hoping to get some of that training that I missed out on when I first broke into the business. I also invested in acting and speech classes to help me with my reactions and promos. Meanwhile, I constantly sent emails to the agents and writers pitching several ideas in hopes of getting a chance to show what I have learned and done during my time away. I had proposed being a manager valet for a superstar, hosting a comical gossip segment, covering diva and superstar interviews, and even a couple of storylines for possible gimmicks. Unfortunately, none of them came to fruition. I'm not even entirely sure my ideas were seen or considered, but I left no stone unturned. I knew that taking some time off from TV could possibly lead to my release, but I'm relentless, driven, and extremely passionate, so I didn't want to just sit around and collect a check. I wanted to be a contributor and a valuable asset to the company. After some time passed, I spoke with WWE, and we decided to embark on a journey down at NXT. I was desperate to get back in some capacity, so I agreed, but because I felt a fresh new start could ultimately benefit me in the long run, I had one goal in mind, and that was to show everyone that I could do this and get back to TV. While I was down there, I was getting positive feedback from my peers and trainers who agreed that I was showing a lot of improvement. I felt more comfortable in the ring, and I was always confident in my ability on the microphone, so I kept pushing because I felt I was headed in the right direction. I kept a constant contact with agents on the main roster, hoping I could get back in the thick of things. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but nothing seemed to change. Every time I spoke to someone, I was told things would change. It's just a matter of time. At the time, I believed it, so I kept my head down and kept working, but since I noticed no change, I decided to take matters in my own hands. WWE is all about opportunity. Some get opportunities while others may not. The WWE Universe only gets to see and experience what the WWE allows them to. I see it all the time. I am sure you can think of a superstar or diva that the WWE Universe loves and backs blindly, but that superstar or diva does not get to the top because he or she may not receive the opportunities to shine. I'm sure you can also think of a superstar or diva that the WWE Universe does not believe in, yet he or she is everywhere and provided all the opportunities to succeed. It's the nature of the business. There is so much talent, but so few opportunities to go around. Sometimes you have to go out there and grab everyone's attention on your own. Sometimes you have to reach up and grab the brass ring, like Mr. McMahon so famously once said. The day before my release, I posted a lengthy statement about the IWC regarding their views and the ways they choose to express their opinions. The statement quickly spread like wildfire, mainly due to my closing line, which, by the way, was meant to be a sarcastic jab, generating thousands of comments on wrestling sites, and was even posted on Forbes.com. Among other outlets, my inbox was quickly flooded with emails, messages, and interview requests. My goal was to provoke the fans and parlay that into perhaps a top-flight heel gimmick. The former seemed to have worked. I may not come from a wrestling family. I may not possess the raw talent and athleticism that some of the current divas do, but what I do have is a charisma and the attitude that can evoke raw emotion from an audience. I may not be your ideal blonde-haired, blue-eyed American sweetheart, but I am a confident and educated with 2 degrees African-American badass bitch is what she said, which this company has lacked for a long time. Well, she forgets about the boss. As I looked at the female talent on the roster, I felt that a full-out heel persona was missing. Someone like Stephanie McMahon or Vicky Guerrero, who the fans love to hate, but ultimately respect. Someone that the fans pay to see get beat. Someone they pay to come boo and genuinely dislike. I wanted to be that kind of character. Since I was not getting the chance to display that in the ring or on a mic, I decided to use the internet and the fans to show that WWE what I could do. I truly feel that if I was given a chance to do promos and play up this heel persona, I could have generated tremendous interest and heat. I could have finally showed what I had learned in the ring during my time away, and I could have contributed to this tremendous Divas revolution. Unfortunately, before that could happen, I was given notice of my release. So today I turn the page and embark on a new journey. When I began to realize that my time in WWE was winding down, I invested in myself and other projects outside of professional wrestling. I can say that I am in a good place, both mentally and financially. Although it is sad that I no longer will be with WWE, I am proud of my hard work, and I am happy with knowing that I did everything I could from my end. Where I go from here and what I do is still a work in progress, but I can promise you that this will not be the last you will hear of Ariane Andrew. Whether I continue my pro wrestling career or build on my other projects, I will always give it my all, and I will also lean on your love and support. I won't say goodbye. I'm simply say thank you, and I will see you again soon. Love, Adrian, aka Cameron. Another report for what went on after Raw went off the air. Reported that Jericho yelling at a referee after the show off the air. Post-show, we got a super heel Jericho and one of my favorite performers ever, as the reporter said. He told the ref that after 25 years, he knew how to get heat, and called out Ambrose and told him that the Jericho jacket was to go into the Smithsonian Institute, and that he was going to get arrested for a federal offense. Their back and forth was a dark match, fun, over the top, and brilliant. I am sure it's been done before, but over Jericho's shredded jacket was awesome. Again, I'll show you. Show you that link on Jericho's Instagram site page. I have been I have been going to matches and pay-per-views and such around the Midwest since AWA days, and this was one of the more fun live events I've ever been to. Okay, next we got Kofi Kingston was given some time off this weekend for WWE live events to be with his wife and newborn baby boy. Enzo Amore was also off due to from the live events because he has not got the concussion clearance that he suffered from Payback. PW Insider noted that Kofi is scheduled to be on Raw, and he was, but Enzo was not scheduled for Raw or SmackDown yet. Eden Styles Runnels has recently tweeted about meetings in New York City and other hints at possible new projects as well. So is it possible that she could be leaving WWE? Unknown, but she posted this on Twitter at Real Eden WWE. Really excited about the opportunities that have presented themselves recently. Perfect timing. That's all she said. But it could be in case she gets released. Regarding an angle from Evolve 61, this past Saturday night with Ethan Carter III and TNA World Heavyweight Champion Drew Galloway shooting on WWE NXT and Triple H, Dave Meltzer reported, noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that it is not meant to be a WWE versus TNA angle. It is meant to have an anti-WWE feel, but if WWE had a problem with it, it never would have happened. It was speculated that Evolve isn't doing anything that WWE wouldn't sign off on right now. And as it is, they've got this cruiserweight thing going on. Also noted EC3 and Galloway will face NXT's Johnny Gargano and formerly Manic from TNA, TJ Perkins, who qualified recently for the WWE Cruiserweight Classic and upcoming Evolve show. for the next round, I guess. In this video here, former WWE, ECW, and WCW star Too Cold Scorpio talked about working for the original ECW. Scorpio says that he had some of the best times in ECW and probably never partied as much or did as many drugs, as he also learned that that's not the way to live your life. He also praises Paul Heyman for his creative work, but says it's hard to believe anything that came out of Heyman's mouth when it comes to business or money. Scorpio ends it by saying Heyman still owes him money. Again, go to that link. Well, Damon Sandow already scheduled for future wrestling events, such as Global Force Wrestling. On June 11th, WrestlePro event in Keyport, New Jersey. Also, Hornswoggle and Zeb Coulter will also be on the card, as well as Booker T. Here's the latest new picture from Cody Rhodes. Teaser from Stardust. If you look at one side of the picture, you got Cody. If you got the other side of the picture, you got Stardust. Well, at Stardust WWE, backbeat, the word was on the street that the fire is in your heart is out. You can go to the picture. WWE has applied to trademark CWC and Cruiserweight Classic. Cruiserweight Classic, CWC. Previously mentioned an inaugural 32-man event that will take place during the week of June 20th for Full Sail University. I reported earlier that Brock Lesnar and, well, this is an advertised match. Brock Lesnar versus Shinsuke Nakamura are among a match that was announced at a live event in Honolulu, Hawaii for Wednesday, June 29th. Also scheduled on the same show or the next night, Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura versus John Cena as double main events. Okay, they're advertised. And Paul Heyman was advertised for another European tour or something as well. So unknown if Brock Lesnar is going with them on that. Also reported that wrestling agent David Harrow stated during Pro Wrestling Weekly that TNA owed Bobby Roode and Eric Young a combined six figures when they left the company. For what it's worth, PW Insider has updated and said that while TNA definitely owed Roode and Young money at times, they were told that both talents were all caught up by the time that they left the company. Kurt Angle mentioned on Instagram that he's going to be a father for the 5th time. He posted the following picture on Instagram.com, the real Kurt Angle, as the sonogram, ultrasound of his little precious baby. Number 5 on the way. Congratulations to them, as he also does. On Twitter, hashtag love my kids, hashtag Kyra, hashtag Cody, hashtag Guyana, hashtag Sophie. The Rock $7 production company is launching a new digital studios division this summer. He posted a teaser for new content in the works. And I'll post a link there, twitter.com, The Rock status. Go to the link for that. Also reported Shinsuke Nakamura versus John Cena and Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar is also being advertised for a June 29th live event from Honolulu. WWE NXT Women's Champion Asuka versus Women's Champion Charlotte is also booked for that show. So look for the talents to be called up to the roster by June, the end of June. Being June 29th, 30th. Could be on the following Raw. John Cena and actor Wilmer Valderrama have been announced as Jaguar Land Rover ambassadors for the 2016 Invictus Games. They will also captain the wheelchair rugby exhibition match and games are currently running in Orlando. Cena commented in a press release, "It's an honor to be a part of the Invictus Games this year. These men and women represent some of our nation's bravest, and I can't wait to celebrate them in the upcoming games." WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley has praised Baron Corbin in his new Facebook post. "Baron is good, and he's getting better every week. Baron's not flashy, but he does a lot of little things well, and his hashtag end of days is among the most impressive finishers in the business. With the right focus from the company and a few key feuds, I can see Baron going a long way in hashtag WWE." Like I said earlier, I posted this twice in my notes here. GFW, Global Force Wrestling, has signed Booker T, Zeb Colter, and Hornswoggle, as well as Damien Sandow for the first post-WWE wrestling appearances. Russell Pro announced it earlier today, being the 10th of May. Sandow is set to appear in the June 11th show in Keyport, New Jersey. All who recently were released. Why not get Ryback, Cameron, and others too? Just my idea. Well, you got some of them, so why not make them all? One big swoop. While WWE has to yet announce it, they have released another former star, Brooklyn Brawler, also named as Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. They haven't announced it yet, but they will be releasing him very soon, better known as Brooklyn Brawler. As Steve Lombardi had been with the company for over 30 years and is perhaps the most famous enhancement talent of all time. Lombardi also worked under several other gimmicks, including Abe Knuckleball Schwartz, Kim Chi, over the years. And while he made rare appearances on camera over the years, he was mostly used in a backstage role where he oversaw and produced promos. The site notes that Lombardi was the person that every talent had to cut promos for when trying out, and he was influential in determining whether the talent would get looked at in a bigger way. Mickie James recently appeared on Vince Russo's podcast, and here are some highlights that she was commenting on getting pregnant as a wrestler. At a point, you accept it and embrace it. It's kind of scary because you're watching your body transform, and the whole time you're thinking, I'm going to be able to get it back to where it was. Especially because our business is so cosmetic as it is, especially females. It's all about looks. On how she broke the news to Magnus when she got pregnant. He was on the road with TNA at the time. He was a champ at the time. And we were in Texas for Valentine's Day for the Loop. And you just kind of know. I guess I had known or felt like I might have been for a while, but just don't want to accept it. So I went back to the hotel room, took a test, and was, holy crap, I'm pregnant. So I went back to the store again, bought another test, took it again. So this time I took a picture of the test, texted it to Nick and said, "Happy Valentine's Day." And that was the end of her thing. Well, Dana Brooke made her debut on the main roster on Raw from last night, joining Emma against Becky Lynch. It was reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that the duo is now working on the main roster to fill the void left by Naomi and Tamina Snuka. Tamina's injured, as she both had she had surgery, but I guess Naomi is also out with an injury. Tonight's main event in SmackDown taping takes place from the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa. Matches announced for SmackDown included Luke Gallows versus World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, Goldust and Fandango versus Tyler Breeze and R-Truth, another rematch, plus WWE Intercontinental Champion The Miz versus Cesaro and Sami Zayn. Last four WWE World Heavyweight title belts signed by WWE Hall of Famer Sting have been discounted from $1,500 to $1,200 on Amazon.com. Show you a picture of two of the belts back behind me here. WWE Shop posted the following pictures as well. At WWE Shop, at Sting signed hashtag WCW World Heavyweight Championship replica titles. So they're replicas. Now discounted on Amazon. Go to the link as well. Christopher Daniels and Frank Kazarian are now tag team champions in Ring of Honor as they defeated War Machine to win the Ring of Honor tag team titles at Monday's last night's live event from Dearborn, Michigan. In related news, Raymond Rowe of War Machine announced that he was heading home due to doctor's orders and will miss Wednesday's event tomorrow night in Toronto. It's interesting that Rowe said he will miss the Toronto event, yet he did not mention Saturday's show in New York City. New York City! We're not aware of Rowe suffering an injury, so this may be a storyline related. If the title change was not triggered by an injury, then it's a strange move, given that he just won the titles the night before. On Sunday night over the Briscoes, only to drop the titles one night afterwards in an unadvertised match. From that. Also, the reason why Sheamus missed a couple of shows over the weekend, he was given time off, and he said he was back home in Tampa. Well, he was on Twitter. I couldn't download the picture, and he's just shown with it's a Tampa picture on the back, and he's got 2 beers sitting on the side. Guinness beer. That's the beer he drinks. Other wrestlers that were also given time off were Kane, Alberto Del Rio, Big Show, and Mark Henry. New WWE paperwork filed by SEC reveals that Triple H has signed a new 3-year deal with WWE on Monday night. This indicates that he is planning on wrestling through WrestleMania 35 in 2019. Triple H's previous performers deal expired at the end of March, and this is his new deal. Will automatically renew unless they terminate it for any reasons. What you've all been waiting for, main event spoilers. Thanks to Decal God Move for the following first report on the SmackDown for the main event spoilers. He also gave the SmackDown, which I'll do the first report on that as well. Big Cass dominated Curtis Axel. Bo Dallas was at ringside. Apollo Crews defeated Stardust in a good back and forth match. With a toss powerbomb. More like a set-out powerbomb, I guess. As the crowd started very quiet, but got into the match later on. And then they had a Raw recap and a backstage interview with Zack Ryder. Baron Corbin defeated Zack Ryder. Corbin dominated most of the match until Ryder came back and hit the broski boot. Corbin still hit the end of days for the win. Kind of like the Raw match. Report number 2. From ProWrestling.net, reader Jacob Boland was at the SmackDown tapings and posted the main event spoilers. As I looked at 3 other dirt sheets and nothing was posted until midnight, and that's when I'm doing this video. Dark match with Dolph Ziggler defeating Victor. Big Cass defeated Curtis Axel. Apollo Crews defeated Stardust. Baron Corbin defeated Zack Ryder. First report, thanks to Decal God Move from SmackDown tapings. SmackDown opened up with Dean Ambrose cutting a promo in the ring about how he's even with Chris Jericho now due to his Mitch and the light up jacket being destroyed. Jericho's music hits and the lights go out. They come back on and Jericho already in the ring and Ambrose laid out. Jericho pulls out a straight jacket and begins beating on Ambrose, but he doesn't put it on him. Or put him in it. Ambrose tries unsexually to fight back. Jericho stands tall as the referees separate them. Jericho stands on the announcer table and offers the crowd the gift of Jericho. Rusev backstage ranting about what happened from Raw. Rusev defeated Sin Cara in a short match with the accolade. U.S. Champion Kalissa was in the commentary. Lana came out first and was introduced Rusev as the next U.S. Champion again. Rusev controlled the match that led early in the match. And just as Sin Cara made a comeback, Lana threw water on Kalissa to distract Sin Cara. Rusev went to the outside, kicked Kalissa in the back of the head, went back in the ring to finish Sin Cara. Rusev left both Lucha Dragons laying. Renee Young then interviewed Emma backstage. She formally introduces Dana Brooke, who will face Becky Lynch tonight. Dana Brooke defeated Becky Lynch. This was said not to be very impressive. Dana came out with Emma. Using Emma's music, she controlled the early part of the match until Becky made a comeback, but Dana won with a fluky roll-up off of a distraction. The match seemed awfully short, and most of the crowd was confused by the sudden ending. Roll replay of the 6-man elimination match. Backstage segment with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. AJ Styles approached and promised to take care of Roman Reigns if he interferes in their match against the Usos tonight. Tag Team Champions The New Day are out to easily the biggest pop of the night so far. Bob Villains ended up interrupted, and we've got a singles match. Aiden English versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi started hot, but Aiden quickly took control, decent back and forth, until Simon Gotch got involved. Gotch tried to get involved the second time, and Big E and Xavier Woods stopped him. Chaos led to the referee ejecting Gotch, Woods, and Big E from the arena. This led to Kofi being distracted and English getting the win with an assist from the ropes. The dirty pin, just like on the video game. Backstage segment with the World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns and the Usos. Like AJ did with Gallows and Anderson, Reigns promised to take AJ out if he gets involved tonight. Usos defeated Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson by disqualification. Usos started off strong until Gallows grabbed a handful of hair from the apron to turn it around. Anderson and Gallows kept control for a while. Well, I don't think they could pull Anderson and Gallows' hair because they're bald. Joke there. Okay, the heels controlled. The crowd got dueling chants for the Usos. The heels controlled a bit more until the Usos super kick led to another hot tag. Crowd was really getting into the match as the Usos ran hot until Gallows hit one with a steel chair for the DQ. Anderson and Gallows stand tall after the beatdown with chairs, leaving the Usos laying. This was the best match of the night so far. Basically tag wrestling 101. But the crowd was hot by the end of the match. Backstage segments with R-Truth building a selfie stick out of an actual stick with Tyler Breeze. And Fandango trying to teach Goldust to dance. They air a life lesson segment with Bob Backlund and Darren Young. Backlund asks Young what time it is on his watch, and Young pulls out his phone to check. This causes Backlund to berate him for trying to make a phone call. Backlund assigns him 200 squats for disobedience. R-Truth and Tyler Breeze defeated Fandango and Goldust. Goldango. Yeah, I forgot. What the hell? Truth. Truth started with Fandango, but Fandango tagged out, leaving Goldust versus Truth. But they don't fight, and fans chant Golden Truth at them. So there you go. They still want to fight. Truth ends up tagging out to Breeze, but Breeze lays him out. Goldust catches wind, but Fandango ends up laying him out, allowing Breeze to get the pin. Officially, Gorgeous Truth wins, but Fandango and Breeze both beat Goldust down. Truth comes in for the save, but also gets beat down. Fandango and Breeze leave together as Goldust and Truth are left laying. Another victory for the Shining Stars tag team, the Colognes. Renee Young interviews Ric Flair and WWE Women's Champion Charlotte. Charlotte says what happened on Raw was a travesty. Flair promises Charlotte will retain it. Extreme Rules. Cesaro and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and Intercontinental Champion The Miz with Maurice ended in a no contest. Miz started with Cesaro. Cesaro teased the swing, but Miz escaped and tagged Owens. He came in and Zayn tagged himself in. Owens tried to tag out, but Miz drops off the apron and Sami beats Owens down a bit. Cesaro and Zayn hit consecutive big moves on Miz after he tags in, but the heels gain control behind the referee's back. The heels control for a bit before Sami pulls out a Desperation Blue Thunderbomb. but he can't get the pin. Cesaro gets a hot tag and takes Owens out. Owens and Miz. A swing attempt on Owens is interrupted by Miz. Sammy misses a hell of a kick on Miz and hits Cesaro by accident. The match dissolves into a finisher party as Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb on Sammy, and Miz hits a skull-crushing finale on Owens to stand tall and end the match in a no contest. Owens recovers and tosses Miz back in the ring for the faces to make up. Cesaro hits a 32-second swing on Miz and then slingshots him into the corner for a hell of a kick from Sammy. SmackDown ends with everyone cheering for Sammy and Cesaro. Well, second report. Only got two reports this week. Thanks to ProWrestling.net reader Jacob Bolin. Dean Ambrose talked about Monday's Raw. Jericho's music hit and the lights go out. When they come back on, Jericho was standing over Ambrose. He put him in a straitjacket and hit him with 2 code breakers. Actual match number 1, Dana Brooke beat Becky Lynch. Match number 2, Aiden English defeated Kofi Kingston. Usos beat Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows by DQ. Gallows and Anderson used the chair for the disqualification. R-Truth and Tyler Breeze beat Goldust and Fandango. Fandango turned on Goldust, allowing Tyler Breeze to pin him. Fandango and Breeze attacked Goldust and R-Truth and then walked out together, appearing as if they are joining forces. Which is so predictable. Kevin Owens and The Miz defeated Sami Zayn and Cesaro. Zayn accidentally hit Cesaro with a hell of a kick, which led to Owens and Miz getting the win. After the taping concluded, Owens brought Miz back in the ring. Cesaro gave him a swing for about a minute. Well, the other ones had 32 seconds. And Zayn hit the hell of a kick. Byron, Morrow, and JoJo danced in the ring with Cesaro and Zayn to send the crowd home happy. Okay, there's a brief one for the third one. So I did give a third one. Alright, SmackDown opened up with Dean Ambrose cutting an in-ring promo about Chris Jericho. Lights go out. Jericho appears in the ring. And Ambrose is laid out. Jericho pulls out a straitjacket and proceeds to beat on Ambrose, but doesn't put him in it. Doesn't put him in it. One report said he does. Jericho stands tall as the referee separate the two. Rusev backstage ranting about what happened on Raw. Rusev defeated Sin Cara. Renee Young interviewed Emma backstage. Dana Brooke defeated Becky Lynch. Raw replay of the 6-man elimination match. Backstage segment with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. AJ Styles approaches and promises to take care of Roman if he interferes in the match. Aiden English defeated Kofi Kingston. Backstage segment with Roman Reigns and the Usos. The Usos defeated Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson by disqualification. Backstage segments with R-Truth building a selfie stick out of an actual stick. With Tyler Breeze and Fandango trying to teach Goldust to dance. There's a life lesson segment with Bob Backlund and Darren Young. R-Truth and Tyler Breeze defeated Fandango and Goldust. Another victim for the Shining Stars, the Colognes, Primo and Epico. Renee Young interviewed Ric Flair and Women's Champion Charlotte. Charlotte says what happened on Raw was a travesty. Flair promised Charlotte will retain it. Extreme Rules. And your main event, Cesaro and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and Intercontinental Champion Miz with Maurice in an inner no contest. And that concludes my SmackDown and main event spoilers for this week. And this week being the show will be on the 13th. May 13th this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on. If you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.